Okay, so Leatherface is another Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel, making it, I think, the 8th film overall, and it was supposed to be part of another series of films, but since they released it so late, I think they lost the copyright for it. So this looks at a truncated version of the life of Leatherface, up until the point where the mask is put on. And for being character-driven in a horror film, using Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the backdrop, it's actually not that bad. You've got Lily Taylor, who plays Verna, so she would be the mother. Does a really good job. Especially from earlier in the scenes where she's effectively instructing the Sawyer family on what to do. Things don't turn out well for all of them. The acting, you can tell the direction most of the characters were going. You're like, okay, I see the character you're channeling, I see what you're channeling. You can kind of see where these characters would line up farther down the road for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Actually, also potentially the remake too, since they're all close enough in characters, just theme and overall feel is different. But the main crux of the film is you've got members of the Sawyer family who are broken out of a mental institution. Okay? You don't quite know which members, though, because a few of them got taken away. And they kidnap a nurse. And then it's, well, out of the one of them is a female inmate, so you can't go, well, you know, technically, out of the 3 of them, either of them have a logical enough build or look and desire to become Leatherface. But then, of course, they're being hunted by Stephen Dorff's. Well, he's pretty much the local sheriff whose daughter was killed by them. But they couldn't find any conclusive proof. It just happened that his daughter died. And a lot of the Sawyers were around. And he does a great job as the mad revenge/vengeance-driven cop. So those two had some really good acting. And you see people who do a solid job given, you know, what they're working with and the style of film. There is some violence, but they do it in just the right way where it's, oh, we're going to do this at night. And, you know, then they can just do we're going to show the motion and then we're going to pan to, you know, the aftermath. Or it's just hit with the spray. And they do a pretty good job with that. Does this match up anywhere near watching the original? No. You could probably re-release the original now, and people would still go, man, that movie was frightening. How much blood was in it? Man, there were surprisingly little blood. Yes, it was all atmosphere, it was all sound, it was all directing. And at the time, you know, special effects were very raw and gritty, so they had a raw and gritty feel to it. I think this one works well enough if you put it with the remake and the other kind of prequels that somewhat line up with the remake. But you see certain character archetypes that make sense from some of the original runs. So not bad, it's a mixed bag. You know, I've seen much worse films in an hour and a half. Is it a story that really needed to be told? Not as much. I know a lot of people are like, I really want to see another Leatherface kind of origin. But it's character driven, so it feels different. And it's got enough of the violence to make you kind of feel it fits within the overall frame of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it still doesn't quite deliver as well as some of the very original films did.